Get ready. Sahana bhavatu, Sahano bhunaktu, Sah Veeryam karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Vasudevaya जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिज्ञं स्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये ततो जयमुदीरये So I actually completed Vamanavatara last week and we are moving to Matsyavatara. So for all the avatars so far, we have seen Varahavatara, and then Kapila is also supposed to be an avatara. We have seen Narsimhavatara, Vamana, and now Matsya, right? Anything else in between? I think as avatars, only these many we have seen right now.
What about Kurma? Kurma we finished?
Kurma we have finished, right, ma'am?
Churning.
Churning of
Kurmavatara.
Kurmavatara also is correct.
So in Bhagavatam, it is not, the order is not like Dashavatara. Some time later, someone has probably, I don't know from where it started. It has gathered just to give some kind of, I don't know what that sequence is.
I was just about to ask that, ma'am. It is not in that sequence.
No,
And
that
actually
is
there are
not
more
the sequence.
avatars.
Yeah. It is a very, just a very small, limited way of looking at it. That's all. Maybe, okay, initially the Dashavatara.
Otherwise, we have more, I think at least 24 avatars.
Yeah. And if we remember initially when we read Bhagavatam, one of the first few chapters, it is said that Bhagavan avatars are infinite. Everything, that way. So, every thought is his avatara. Every form is his avatara. That is how Bhagavatam states. And these are where there is absolutely no individual sense at all, and all these avatars are there to cultivate bhakti in all other jivas. For that, this avatara has been. That's how Bhagavatam puts avatara as. The purpose of every avatara is to bring in bhakti. Bhagavata dharma is bhakti, para-bhakti, they say, no, where the entire creation is seen as only Bhagavan. There is only one. There is only Bhagavan, nothing else. This was a very different avatar.
Is it because they are the main characters? Ma'am, that's why we stick to Dashavatar.
I
He
don't
has
know.
put that in. We still don't know why that order has been brought, and
Where this is mentioned also, I don't know. Where
it's
it
not
is.
even mentioned anywhere. It's just that the Dashavatara became popular afterwards because it
Because of this order, I guess.
No, it is for the first time when we read, it is wow. Sometimes we do feel that wow, right? Oh, is it? And then it is much deeper than that later. But then initially that order, and when they bring in some sense to it, then we think, oh, okay, that is something in Purana. Maybe it is to draw our
yeah,
attention into that.
it's
Because
not
when
a,
we
but
speak
they-
about
but
it, ma'am, it's always it comes at Dashavatara.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
focused as Dashavatara only, right? Even if we go to temples, we see all the Dashavatara
yeah,
murtis
yeah,
around.
true.
correct,
It did
correct.
become very popular somewhere later.
Probably, ma'am.
And
Maybe iconic instances, probably.
yeah, maybe some of it is very where they were looked at as God, like
Kapila Bhagwan also.
Kapila is also Bhagwan only.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sankhya Yoga, I don't know what is the reason,
Maybe
but
like what
one of the
in
things that fell in place was, through the yugas. If you
Yeah.
take the Satya Yuga, the Treta Yuga, the Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga, there's a Satya Yuga. Everything happened. It was all the Matsya, Kurma, Varaha happens in the Satya Yuga. Narasimha, Vamana, Parashurama in the Treta Yuga. There is a sandhi between every yuga. And then Treta and Parashurama and Rama in the, where it's a sandhi,
Balarama.
but Treta and, no, Rama is also in the Treta Yuga. Right? So Parashurama, Treta Yuga, and then Dwapara Yuga, you have Balrama and Rama. And so, it is also said in the Satya Yuga, largely if you see, it looks like the in a way that whole thing, the 10 avatars, it comes in the form of creation. To answer the question of creation, if you see, initially there is Pralaya, and then Matsya, the Matsya avatara.
Yes, ma'am.
There to
Every time
protect
there is an
everything.
end of the world, only this happens. So
Yes.
it takes, yeah,
Yeah, so
definitely.
not necessarily it was like that only, but it follows a good pattern for creation. So maybe that is why it became popular.
Yes, ma'am.
someone
Earth
must
was
have
then
put it.
brought out of the pralaya by Varahavatara. That is, coming out of the pralaya in a way, again waking up. The world is coming up. And then Parashurama, and then Vamana. The Vamana is the first, no, Parashurama is later. Vamana is the first one to be born of a womb. All other avatars were just Pratyaksha avatara. So now there is a kind of human form, and that too, he's not fully, he's not growing from a baby. He is just a little boy directly, and he comes. And then the proper human seems to come off. So maybe it follows a certain creative creation model, and that's why that became very popular.
Thank you, ma'am.
when we
We'll
first
start
read Bhagavatam, it is very difficult to map it with our linear way of thinking because it is folded within. So maybe to simplify it, someone brought it
Yeah.
out like that, so that somewhere we get at least little bit, to map it with our way of how this intellect is trained to think. And then when we dive into Bhagavatam, it is very different. It's somewhere. It is also, yeah, it is there in our Dasha, even in our Navaratri and all, we do keep or these Dashavataras. We don't
And then
first
people try to fit it with Darwin's evolution theory. I don't think we should even get there actually, because it doesn't fit in exactly just because it's a fish and an amphibian and a boar. Till there, it may fit to some extent, but afterwards it maybe to some extent, but it's okay because that is not how we believe it came also. The world was not created as it is not that humans came after everybody or anything like that. We don't know. Humans have always existed. Human as a jiva has always existed, and it's a timeless, cyclic process that is happening. In some ways, you can also reflect on the Dashavatara within as something within us. The unmanifest, initially the Asuras and the Devas are in their unmanifest form, and then that unmanifest Vasanas within us, they become, what would you say, grossified over time. The Vasanas are there, and the Vasanas become grossified over like a condensation process. Like you have, is there a lot of noise? Can you hear noise or am I audible? No.
Yeah, audible, clear.
Okay. There's a djembe class going.
No, it's
So
clear.
the Vasanas are like in the unmanifest form. Imagine your what would you say, steam or water vapor. It's there absolutely to nobody. You cannot see it, and then it starts condensing and turns into water. So the very unmanifest vasanas manifest first as thoughts within us, and then that water then grossifies into ice condensation. So these thoughts are what brings this gross body to us. It is our own vasanas which are grossified as this body. Our thoughts, our body, and our vasanas are not separate from each other. They are all just one and the same water. At the end of the day, the water, they are all water, but just in, you can say something like 5 states. Like solid, liquid, gas, here they are in 5 states of Prakriti. But in reality, they are all just one. They are just at the base, they are all just H2O. So, like that, we could say that these avatars, in a way, are a manifestation of divinity of this vasana, from this vasana to the gross, from the very subtle and unmanifest to the manifest gross body. And at every point in time, as there is a loss of dharma within, the divine manifests in its many forms. We don't have to look at the world as outside, but the world in Vedanta, there is nothing separate from me. This world appears to me only because I'm alive. There is a world to me only. So it is only my perception of this world. I close my eyes, I go into sleep, there is no world. I don't experience the world. You may say, I don't experience the world, but the world is there, right? But you are not you are not there in that experience. So when they say the Jagat is not just the outer Jagat, it is, the Jagat is this experience of world. Nothing in this world is separate from my existence. I'll remove the my also. The world is not separate from existence. appears to me in my waking state and seems to disappear or go into pralaya in my deep sleep state. And this cycle is going on an everyday basis for us as we go to sleep and we get up.
In deep sleep, there is no world, no body, no mind, right? Nothing at all. So what is there? This is a very big discussion in Vedanta. What is there in deep sleep? What do we feel? Do we feel anything? Are we there in deep sleep? Are we there in deep sleep? It's a question that we need to see. What do you think? You can just tell me. Are we there? Am I there in deep sleep? Anybody can unmute and tell. What is there in deep sleep? Am I there in deep sleep? You have never thought about it? Or everyone is so mute today?
No, ma'am. Probably it's just a face, not face as such, what to say.
Do I exist?
Are you
in
there in
sleep?
deep sleep?
Only our sense, probably. I don't know.
Huh? No. Just what comes to your mind? Are you there in deep sleep? What do you think? What do you
Uh,
feel?
Bala ma'am, I don't know if I am there. I don't feel myself. All right.
You don't feel yourself. That self is the
Ego.
personality self.
Uh,
That is the aham vritti as given by Bhagavan. That is not there. But are we alive? Something is there in deep sleep.
So the sense of being there.
Beingness, existence. Not the one which I am identifying as me is there in deep sleep. But in deep sleep, there is something. Because after we wake up, there are two things in that, right? One is, we know there was nothing there. Yeah. And yet there was a strange fulfillment there. That is why all of us want to go there. Isn't it? One night we don't get proper sleep. The whole day is gone. It is not, we don't feel good about it at all. So there is some strange fulfillment which is replenishing. But this vritti, that is the bodiless, egoless, mindless state. When the ego is not there, nothing of these exists. So all this state, so what Vedanta says is, actually what is there is Brahman only. It is like we go and sleep in his, he absorbs all of us. He just absorbs because that deep sleep is the same for all. There's no difference. Yeah. So he absorbs and stays. Only that beingness is there. Even now it is there. It's just that because this aham, this I has woken up, we forget it. We are not in touch with that beingness.
And we think we are an individual.
Hmm?
We are separate.
Hmm. Yeah, it is an assumption. Someone asks Ramana Bhagavan, it's a very, is deep sleep self-realization? Is deep sleep self-realization? Bhagavan says, deep sleep is self. No realization. It is Brahman. It is that. So every time, it is a beautiful practice, even going the night, know that now I'm absorbed in the Lord. Just thinking like that, and that's why we all pray and then go while sleeping. Waking up also, just mechanically we can do, and slowly it opens up. That is a beautiful dimension that opens up. Morning, waking up, say that I was with the Lord and I continue to be in his lap only actually. I have come, right? So I am in this lap. So that is a very beautiful bhava with which we can wake up and be there. That continuity is what is actually realization. When that recognition of that continuity, that Brahman which was in deep sleep is now here, pure as pure existence. But there is no continuity. I have lost that continuity because I have come. So when that when that continuity is recognized, that is self-realization. So I don't know why we went there. Anyway. Forgot for what we went there. It's all these are contemplation. We need to keep reminding ourselves and contemplating on it. More and more, then the truth shows itself more. That the hold on truth is more than right now. We are in the grip of this untruth, something, impermanent. More and more we contemplate, more and more we listen, more and more the mind is just there, then the hold in truth is more. That's why it says, this is a bhakti, this is worship, worshipping that. Yes, from Dashavatara we went to all this. We'll come back to Matsyavatara. Anything else? Anybody wants to share?
We'll start reading.
Another beautiful thing that I heard recently from Nachur Swami, he was telling the difference between Avatara and Guru. Both are self, they are in the self only. Say Ramana Bhagavan or whatever. They are in the self. Krishna Bhagavan was also like that. Okay, some bodily form is appearing for us. That's all. Right? But they are in one with truth. They are truth. So the difference very nicely, it is like, Vedanta says, even this waking state and dream state, there is no difference. Waking state and dream state, both are like dreams. Okay, this is the Srishti of the Jiva, actually. Yeah, this entire waking world is the Srishti of Jiva. Ishwara Srishti is there, but Jiva Srishti is Maya. So this waking state or the dream state, the waking state is also another dream. That is why, for a guru, what guru does is that shloka is there, right? Ajnana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya. So when we are in this deep slumber of ignorance, I do not know the true self. I think this ego is me, right? And I'm identified with this body. Just like how in the dream, though every character is projected out from this mind, in the dream also, only one, I am identified. That is a localized identification. Say, for example, I am dreaming. In that dream, I am there. Aarti is there. Divya is there. I still, in the dream, there is a localized identification only. But everything is projected out from here. Similarly, waking state is also like that. Everything is projected out, but there is a localized identification. So Guru comes and what he does is he gives that vision. Yeah. So what they say is Ajnana Timirandasya. Right now, I'm completely in deep slumber of ignorance. And he comes there and he puts a kajal in the eye. That's what it says. Jnana Anjana. What is that kajal? It is Jnana Anjana. Anjana is the kajal. Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So he gives the vision. So Guru, through that knowledge, wakes us from the dream and says, you are not this individual. That is Guru. What Avatara does is, Avatara enters into our dream. Avatara enters into our dream and it comes in that form. It plays with it. It puts that bhakti in us. Bhakti, everything, all this also Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says as Vidya Maya, right? All these are also dream only. Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavatam, doing all this, giving all this. So all this, it enters the dream. It gives so much blessings. It pulls us from that. So even now, when you think of Krishna Avatara, talking his Leelas, talking his Katha, he has come into the dream and he's there as a character. So when we start glorifying him and all that, it is all dream only. Jnana is not there, but it is cleansing us too. Yeah? And then a guru has to come once it is ready to wake us up from the dream. So in Vedanta, guru has a higher position than Avatara. In the sense, Avatara is for us in the cleansing thing. And Guru is the Satguru, ultimate jnana. So Matsya Avatara, we are talking about all this because Matsya Avatara is where Guru, we will see the Guru Stuti. It is a beautiful Guru Tattva that comes up in Matsya Avatara. Anything, Aarti?
That was beautiful. Guru and avatars are the same.
Same
But
one.
Very,
Ishvaro.
very different.
Yeah.
That's why so many of them they look at the Guru and the Guru is the divine.
That's
Just the divine in a form. You need a form somewhere. And he's living.
It's a vibhuti. Guru is
Yeah.
because the moment the Guru's form is there, the divinity in us wakes up. Isn't it? It is, we realize, oh, because this body mind cannot recognize a form like that. There is a recognition from within. So that is the divinity in us, the inner being is, what do you say? Jagrata, they say, no? The inner being is, the Guru comes and wakes up the inner being. We'll see how beautifully here in Matsya Avatara it does.
So we can consider Guru as our God, divine.
That is Guru Bhakti.
Yeah.
Guru Bhakti.
Guru is God.
Yeah.
Guru Atmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine, says Dakshinamurti Shlokamu. Ishvara Guru Atma. See, we must also know it is the inner self projecting itself outside. The deep desire to know ourselves manifests as a form outside. That's all. It is the Atman within, the Antaryaman within, which projects. We just saw, no, it is all Jiva Shrishti, right? So it is not within the hands of this. Ego is powerless. Yeah. But when there is this deep desire to know the truth, to know Bhagavan, then we see in many cases that is how it is. No, Swami Chinmayananda, he had that fire within. The way he approached it could be very different, but within was the quest in his mind to know the truth. So he goes and finds Guru. That is why they say Guru finds the Shishya. It is not the Shishya goes and finds the Guru. It is because it is that inner being which recognizes. Oh. So Ishvara, Guru, Atma are the same. Murti Bheda Vibhagine. Only in the forms they look as if different. Initially, when we are in this name and form, the mind is caught up in this name and form. So Atma, out of compassion, comes in a name and form, to which the Shraddha and Bhakti is invested. It is needed for us. Then the moment the Shraddha Bhakti is invested there, then beautifully again in the Bhagavad Gita, what is that? Vyasa Ushatam of Munchu Swami in the 18th chapter, there is a beautiful line where he says, until one sees a personal form of Guru, he cannot get jnana. And until that Guru he recognizes as his own self, he will miss that Guru. Solving this is spirituality. This riddle is.
Say that again, Bala.
Huh? Until I get that book. I think instead of me telling, let it be. Yeah. See, a beautiful line that he says is, unless you approach a guru outside you, you will not attain jnana. And until you feel the guru in your own self, you will miss him. Dvaita, initially that Dvaita is needed to invest all our Shraddha and Bhakti in one form. So we need a form outside. Yeah? Maybe Krishna, whatever, I don't know. Bhagavad Gita, right? Form doesn't mean only human form. That also we should not get stuck with it, right? It is, so until you approach a guru outside you, you will not attain jnana. And until you feel the guru in your own self, you will miss him. Solving the spiritual riddle is realization. It's a Veda Vak actually. Fantastic it is. So you will see this entire thing happening here in Matsyavatara actually. Yeah.
You repeat once more, please. Until you see the.
It is
Too
in
deep, ma'am.
Vyasaushadam, 18th chapter, last 462. It is
Yeah.
Vyasaushadam. Unless you approach a guru outside you, so we have to surrender to something.
Yeah.
Unless you approach a guru outside you, you will not attain jnana. And until you feel the guru is your own self, you will miss him. As long as there is Dvaita, we will miss. But once we know, that is why in Krishna Avatara, when Krishna leaves Gopikas and comes to Mathura, and then he's in Dwarka, okay, he sends Uddhava. Uddhava, he sends to Gopika to actually say that Krishna is your own self. So that is a message that Krishna sends through Uddhava to the Gopikas. So when the Uddhava goes and meets Gopika, there is a Brahmara Gita where Gopikas are actually expressing their pain of separation from Krishna. Okay, first that is what they express to Uddhava. And then Uddhava gives the message that Krishna sends to them. So that brings a deep contentment in them. So that is, so that message gives that jnana in the Gopikas that Krishna is none other than my own self. So then they are out of that pain of separation. We will see all that one. I think we have one more canto to go to enter into Krishna Avatar. Yeah.
See how beautifully they have taken this before Krishnavatara. Before you realize yourself, you have to understand the cycle of birth and death, the cause and effect, and the karma and everything, and learn to let go and know that the divine is the one who is behind everything that is happening. It's taking us step by step, first from Chitta Shuddhi, and then first we have to go through the Chitta Shuddhi, if they had directly gone to the devotion to the 10th canto to bring out Krishna Leela, we would not have been able to appreciate it. There is a level of settling of this mind that is needed, that purification process that has to happen before we can see him. Only then can we absorb him, only then can we revel in him the way we should revel. So it's beautiful, that whole process over the past few years we've been going through, and then we will get to the 10th canto.
So much of gratitude, Veda Vyasa. I don't know what
Yeah,
compassion, no? It's something.
He is also said to be one avatar only, no?
Yeah, yes, very much. I think in the first canto it comes, or second, I don't know. One whole chapter is about all the avatars. First, it gives, I think, 22 or 20, I don't know, so many are listed, everything. So in that, Buddha also is there. The,
Okay. So Parikshit then asked Sukha to relate to him in detail the Matsyavatara of the Lord. Shukha said, whenever there is harm threatening the cows, the Brahmins, the Devas, or the good men, when there is a fear of destruction for Dharma, or the Vedas, or the world itself, the Lord then descends to the earth to protect them. At the end of the previous Kalpa, Brahma went to sleep and the world became submerged under the waters. When Brahma was sleeping, an Asura by name Hayagriva stole the Vedas from him. The Asura then disappeared under the waters with the Vedas. The deluge, Mahapralaya, was Naimittika, and it was as a consequence of this Pralaya that the world became completely submerged in the oceans. So, lots of words here. So, the first line is almost, it is like that. यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युक्तानाम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहं परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. So whenever there is a destruction of dharma, though, who are all the protectors? So when we say Brahmins, it's not the ones who are born Brahmins, but the ones who are trying to remind the masses about their true nature. The ones who are working constantly, tirelessly to bring out this connection to the self movement. Otherwise, every human is moving outwards into the material world. The Brahmin is one who is endeavoring to bring people and, connected with their true nature. That is, in one way, the dharma. Dharma is being connected through the working in the world through the connection to this divine nature within. So when there is a fear of destruction for dharma, because now the Brahmins or the so-called people who are trying to work to, and they are not being supported. They are being, for whatever reason, that we can even look at it in the past in our own, in all ways, they say why Sanatana Dharma has survived in Bharata, because this land, they say, has the seeds, like the DNAs have, they have fallen everywhere. So the avatara will appear when the dharma is very badly shaking. But in the meanwhile also, we have had so many problems, but one seed after another, we see a continuous flow. From Adi Shankara to so many, like Chinmayananda ji, and then you have Ramakrishna, Paramahansa, Ramana Maharishi, and even in the north, so many, Mahatmas have Mahatmas people have been coming up, and in their small ways, so many well-known, so many not so well-known, doing in their own small groups. It's like one seed sprouting constantly all the time. And that is why it has been. And then when even this becomes, we are still in the very beginning of Kalki Avatara, apparently. So we have this. So it can become even worse. And when that happens, Lord himself appears to restore dharma. We need something as strong as the Lord himself. And in the previous Kalpa, Brahma went to sleep. Just
one minute.
Yes.
The seed that you are talking about, I just remembered. See, why is it in this bhumi? Okay. So There is the Sanatana Dharma. So for a such a jiva to take birth, the parents must be reasonably pure. If you see Adi Shankaracharya's parents, they all have done, if we see the birth of every Mahatma, the story would go like the parents were in tapasya. They, Grihastha dharma is given so much importance. This marga in Grihastha, those who follow the Grihastha dharma and, are Bhagavatas, for them such, because they all choose the environment. They are not born to anybody. Those who are in that tapasya, take Raghavendra, even Chinmaya Gurudev, everybody. If we really look at the stories, life stories of because Aryamba and Shiva Guru, they go through so much of tapas before Adi Shankara was born. Every little, so even the, Maharashtra saints, all the stories, the parents do so much of tapas. So which means, again, we bring the entire thing to Sanatana Dharma. That dharmic way of life is so important. That is why such grahasthas are found only in this land. This is a bhumi where such grihasthas can be found, so that the jiva, the whatever, such beings come. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's parents are also known like Ramana Bhagavan. It is said that Bhagavan's mother, all 9, she was a great Vedanti herself. And she felt like, all 9 months carrying a fire in her. That is how he was, that Arunachala Tapa was in. And many, it's like that, they are great tapasvis. So they were born. So such tapasvis are also found only in this land. So I don't know, I'm just telling you so that at least we can feel good about it,
No.
That's
That is
another
the-
dharma. It is the dharma that
That is why we call her Bharat Mata. We even, she is the mother. And when you're talking about Grihastha Dharma, I'm remembering what Raghuramji said. So it is when there are 2 people, I'm a husband and I'm a wife, whatever. My Swadharma as a wife is to be such a wife that nobody can looks at me and says, what kind of a wife is she? How can she do? That should not come in. Holding her dharma towards the family. Similarly, the husband should live his life in such a way that there is no way anybody can, it is not about the other. It is the way he only lives, where there is no, black mark on the way he conducts himself as a husband.
we strive for it.
We strive for it. At least the effort is towards that. We may not be perfect, but that dharma is there in my mind and I strive for it at all point in time. To hold my dharma as a wife, to hold my dharma as a husband every moment to the best of my ability. Similarly, to hold my dharma as a human being, which is also true, as a human being to the best of my ability. To hold my ability, my dharma as a citizen of this country to the best of my ability. As a mother, as a father, everything, you own it up. So you are focused more on the dharma is your anchor somewhere rather than I, me, myself. Rather than Aarti, rather than, me. It has to be the dharma that is the guiding light there. And that is why he also brought up the grihastha. The grihastha dharma is about coming together to bring out a beautiful progeny. One of the basic dharma is to bring out a progeny which will contribute to this world to again uphold dharma, the larger dharma, according to one's varna.
In fact, Grahastha Dharma is so important that they are responsible for brahmacharyas, vanaprasthas, sannyasas. They support even at the functionality level. You know, they support their living at the functionality level. For brahmacharis, all brahmacharis, the grahasthas need to support. Vanaprasthas, grahasthas need to support. Sannyasis also grahastha bhiksha. The entire, all other ashramas are, so the grahastha ashrama is an ashrama of tapas. It is, and a beautiful learning. That is how this land looks at it. That's why we call her Mata. No? There is so much bhava. It is not just some boundary, you know, that map India. It is not that. It is so much of bhava.
She's like a living being herself.
Yes.
Infused with the spirituality of this land.
That's why it's said that Swami Vivekananda told this, it seems. He said, you know, what? Spirituality is the backbone of this country. If you take to any other craft, mark my words, this land will perish in 50 years. This is the not just his statement. I think it can be considered as a curse also. If this is gone, then there's no Bharata. Nothing else. So everything else he calls as craft. Yes.
Yeah. So the deluge. So now you have a Naimitika Pralaya, Mahapralaya. So you have Nitya Pralaya. What is that Nitya Pralaya? Every day we go to sleep and get up. And Naimitika happens like you also have your Nitya Karma and Naimitika Karma. So Nitya Karma is when every day I light the diya, I put a rongoli, so, you know, do tulsi puja, whatever we are doing, or I do yoga every day. That is my, or meditation every day. That is my Nitya Karma. And then my Naimitika Karma is when I do a Shraddha. Or, you know, Tithi and all that. That becomes a Naimitika Karma, which is a periodic. Everything is a period, but a larger period, which is also defined in a, that is a larger period. So, the Mahapralaya that is being spoken about here, the Matsyavatara, is a Naimitika, which is larger than the everyday Pralaya that is happening. Our everyday Pralaya is our sleep and getting up. That is a Nitya Pralaya. And this is the Naimitika, which has a larger period. Which is happening after one kalpa. That is, after one Brahma day, there is a Mahapralaya. So this is not even the other where Brahma himself goes. That is a much bigger Pralaya than even this one. So this is after one previous kalpa, that is one after every Brahma day, this is happening. So there are different levels of destruction that happen. So it is like going into a samadhi state. If you really understand this pralaya, right, it is about going into multiple. So now when I sleep, my vasanas are still there. And when I get up, the vasanas are still there. That is one level of pralaya and coming out. And then there is the other level of pralaya where the vasanas are going away, and even the at a certain level, some asuric qualities have gone and we have risen to a certain level. And then finally, when the ego is totally removed, that is when the Brahma is not even there. Even when the ego is removed, the Brahma is not even there. And that time, it is a complete oneness. There is no separate I-ness at all, and it is one with the Supreme. So Hayagriva stole the Vedas from him. So all the knowledge, when Brahma was sleeping, and Asura by name Hayagriva stole the Vedas from him. What is in the Vedas? The knowledge of the Supreme. How to get to the Supreme. So basically, completely in delusion and being in complete ignorance. There was no knowledge of the Vedas. There was no, I didn't know that about the self. Initially, that is how we come, right? When we are born into this world, I don't know that there is a self. There is a, even in the Panchadashi, that is how, there is an, initially we start with avidya. I don't know. Ignorance is my nature at that time. So there is no knowledge of the Vedas. I don't know is what I say. If I didn't know math first, and then I learned math and I came to know. I didn't know any language initially, but I kept hearing it, and then I learned to speak that language of that place. I didn't know that the sky was actually not blue. Through knowledge, I came to know that it is because of the dispersion of the light. So I don't know is where we start off from. Even when I am born, I don't know anything. And then people introduce, oh, this, look, light, look, ball. We show items, and then that knowledge of every item, we start putting it in, gets into our memory. So we start off from that space called I don't know. And I also don't know the self. I am looking outwards, and hence I don't know. So that is where the Vedas, Hayagriva steals the Vedas from him, where in that pralaya, that whole knowledge of the self is gone. Like in my sleep also, I don't know that the self is there. Just like that. Anything else? We want to move on, or?
It's just that in sleep, yeah, once I wake up, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sleep, we don't know. That's why sleep is always past, you know. We don't know what was there. Once I wake up, I don't know what was there.
Yeah.
I agree, was told the Vedas. Yes.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. This Hayagreva is also supposed to be an avatar, no?
That's different.
Acha, the name is same.
Uh-huh.
Acha.
There are some asuras with God also. The same name.
You know?
He is a horse form of asura.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is Hayagriva Vishnu Avatara, I think, maybe. Like Guru, no? That is also another.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That is also there. You're right, Divya.
Yeah, correct.
But this is the asura Hayagriva. There was then at that time a king by name Satyavrata who ruled the world. He was a saint among many men, a great devotee of Narayana. At the end of the pralaya, when the world was recreated, King Satyavrata was born as the son of Vaivasvata, one of the 12 Adityas. And the Manvantara was called by his name, by the name Vaivasvata Manvantara. Shraddhadeva was the name he was then given. So Vaivasvat was given the name Shraddhadeva. We are right now currently living in the Vaivasvata Manvantara.
Now it is Vaivasvata Manvantara, right?
Yeah, we are living in the Vaivasvata Manvantara right now. So that is why they have brought this, no, Srimad Bhagavatam with these stories. This is relevant for us right now. So we are living in the Vaivasvata Manvantara, and Satyavrata was the first Manu. King Satya was born as the son of Vaivasvata. So,
Right. he
Correct.
comes as the first Manu. No. So this is the previous one. He
This
was.
is Satyavata was from the previous.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm. So why is this Manvantara being called the Vaivasvata when he was there in the previous Manvantara is the thought process, right?
Oh, there is something, no? Question.
So I'm just thinking.
Ah. What is it? Can you repeat?
So King Satyavata was born as the son of Vaivasvata. So Vaivasvata was before Pralaya. From the earlier, but from the earlier Kalpa.
Kalpa. Hmm. That time he was Satyavrata. He comes as Manu in the next.
Mm.
The next Kalpa. Ayyo, what is this? Kalpa Manvantara? There is
No.
something.
I will get back on this, okay? This one needs a little more thinking from my side. I will come back on this.
Hmm.
This time period. There is a little confusion. I'll get back in the next class.
Hmm.
So one day Satyavata was performing his morning ablutions on the banks of the river Kritamala. When he had taken up the water in his cupped palms to offer arghya to the Pitris, he found a tiny fish in the water held in his hands. He promptly dropped the fish in the river. The fish spoke in a human voice and said, "O king, have pity on me. I am so small and I am afraid of the big fish in the river, the big fish which threatens to eat me up. Please take me away from these waters and protect me." The king was touched by the appeal in the voice of the fish, and taking it up in his hand, he dropped it in his kamandalu and went home. You want to read, Prabha?
Sure. A night passed. The next morning, the fish
Your voice is
there
breaking, Prabha.
is not inside the vessel. Please place me in a wider place. Please. Oh, is it?
Yeah. So, patchy. Okay, I'll continue maybe. Please place me in a wider place where I can move freely. The king placed it in a larger pot filled with water. Within an hour, the fish had outgrown the pot. Satyavrata then placed it in a pot, and the same thing happened. The fish complained that there was not enough space for it. The king kept on placing it in larger and larger areas filled with water, and yet the fish complained the same way, that it had not enough space to move about. The king finally took it to the sea and dropped it there. The fish said, "The sea is full of sharks and whales which will surely eat me up. Why did you bring me here?" Satyavrata smiled slightly and said, "You are a very strange fish. You can grow larger than a pond which is 100 miles in length, and this has happened in an hour, and I have never seen such a thing before. You are no ordinary fish. I know who you are. You are Lord Narayana, who has donned this form for some purpose which is not known to me. Lord of Lords, I salute you. You are the refuge of all beings. When you take up a form, it is surely to protect helpless beings like me. Since you have revealed yourself to me, please tell me why you have assumed this form." The Lord, in the form of a fish, then spoke to him and said, "You are right. I have taken this form with a purpose. 7 days from today, the 3 worlds will be submerged under the waters. Mahapralaya is coming. When the world goes completely under, you will see a boat which will be floating towards you. Be on the lookout for it. When you see it, you will have 7 rishis. You will have to enter it. Collect all the aushadis, seeds, and accompanied by the rishis, the 7 rishis, take your place in the boat. There will be dead darkness all around you, but the glow of the tejas emanating from the rishis will guide you. So, what all the seeds for everything will be there, which is the seeds, the vasanas will be there, and the Saptarishi Mandala will also be there. Everything before that will be removed. There'll be dead darkness all around you, but the glow of the Tejas emanating from the rishis will guide you. You will be tossed hither and thither by the giant waves of the angry ocean. But be not afraid. I will be in the waters. When you see me, tie the boat to one of my horns with the help of Vasuki, who will serve you as a rope. I will play to my heart's content on the ocean for the duration of a single Brahma's night, and you will also be with me. Single Brahma's night is also one kalpa. His one day is also one kalpa. His one night is also one kalpa. And it's such a beautiful way. I will play to my heart's content in the ocean for the duration of a single Brahma's night. And you will also be with me. Satyavrata will be with him during that period. See, the world, we have vasanas within us. And then there is a universal vasana bank, which is a collection of all the vasanas of all the individuals, which is the plants, the animals, and every single creature and every single human being, all the vasana, it's like one huge super vasana bank. This world is created like YouTube has all the vasanas, right? Everybody who wants I am musical, I have a musical vasana. You go to YouTube, you will find all the music there. I have some other vasana, whether it is positive, whether it is negative, the YouTube is like another mini universe only, which is full of our vasanas. Like that, this universe is a vasana, this cosmos is a collection of all the vasanas of the individuals. And all these individual seeds are being collected, will continue to stay. And the Saptarishis, and it is something like Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha, these will be removed. Some parts, some vasanas, some of the things will be removed.
Maybe the Aushadhis are the scriptures. I don't know. Just thinking aloud.
Some plants also, I would think. Plant kavasana.
Yeah, at the gross level. If you're talking about seeds as vasanas, then Aushadhis also maybe scriptures.
Scriptures and all, all the knowledge
All that.
to dispel the vasanas. The knowledge to dispel the vasanas.
Yes.
And the seeds.
The rishis are the torch bearers.
The rishis are the torch bearers.
So they will guide.
Yes.
And it is so beautiful. See, he says here, I will play to my heart's content on the ocean for the duration of single Brahma's night. So everything is in deluge, but the existence, pure Sat consciousness is there. And he also says, you will also be with me, because Satyavrata surrenders to Bhagavan. Yeah. Not as the Raja or anything. How he is with him, we don't know. That is not given here. He is not being there in the same form. But the one who surrenders gets that abhaya, that fearlessness. That fearlessness is there. He says, you do not fear. You know, the waves of the angry ocean. So in life also, if we really think, if we take Bhagavan as our Lord, if we start depending on him and, hold on to him, then this is the promise he gives. Yeah, he is there. Whatever ups and downs happen, he is there. And that itself is a big strength. Nothing happens to us. The guiding torch is there for us. Yeah, he gives us all the arrangements to actually go through this giant wave of the angry ocean. He also gives the complete plan. If you see, he's giving the complete plan to the Satyavrata. He says, there will be a boat which will come. Vasuki also you tie. And I am there. You're tying it with my horn. So that is the what do you say? The base substratum to which our the mind has to be tied to. The moment it is tied to, then whatever happens, he is there. Just like that story, I think, which we have seen many times in Bhagavatam class, where in a flight, there is a small little girl who is sitting, and and next to her, there is one man who is sitting there, and the flight takes off and it starts the flight. And then after some time, there is so much of turbulence in the flight. And the pilot also announces, the crew also says, keep the seat belt intact. The weather is very bad, all those things, So everyone has a sense of, there is so much of fear in the air also. And this man is also very scared, and he is, putting on the belt, and he sees that little girl sitting beside him. She's so composed and she's there with absolute no fear. So the man asks, are you all by yourself? Are you alone? Are you not scared? Because it is so turbulent. She says, oh no, my father is the pilot. So that is the thing, Satyavrata has surrendered to that, Bhagavan. And it is so beautiful. Bhagavan has shown his glory already to Satyavrata. We have to be able to recognize, no? We have to give that, because this intellect will start playing. To whom am I giving that, Pitahamasya Jagata, he says, isn't it? To whom am I giving that? So he shows as a small fish. In 1 hour, he has grown and he has shown his glory to Satyavrata, and Satyavrata has recognized him as Narayana. So that recognition also he actually shows to us. So once that recognition is there, Satyavrata has surrendered to him, then now that purpose is given and he is used as an instrument, and Bhagavan guides him step by step by step. Satyavrata has become an instrument, pure instrument in Bhagavan's hands.
Also, the statement, when you see me tie, sorry, you were saying something, Bharat?
Yeah, that's all.
When you see me tie the bow to one of my horns with the help of Vasuki, who will serve you as a rope. So it brings out this picture of us as this boat in the ocean. And these waves are just hitting, and the boat is, if it is not anchored, the boat can get lost somewhere, that it can go in somewhere into the ocean, and it can get totally lost. So, but if it is anchored at the shore, if we consider the shore as the divine self there, and when anchored in the divine self, the boat cannot go very far away. Always being anchored in the self, in the divine, with our minds if we look at our mind, when it is in the divine, with the divine, it is best. The moment a little gap comes, one thought comes, it gets into that ocean, and we can totally get lost and lose sight of, and not be anchored, and lose sight of where we have to reach or where we have to be. Totally forget it. And once we get very far away, it takes a lot of sadhana to come back to the anchor and anchor ourselves, to come back to the shore and anchor ourselves. So when you see, this was a picture that was coming to my mind when we said, anchor ourselves in the divine.
Yeah. So we can, I don't know, as you were saying, this comes, we can also do the same vision can be when we are sitting in the meditation seat. When we are sitting there and say, maybe doing japa or that. So as we are chanting the nama, sometimes, many times we hear that, the mind just goes, like it wanders, like the pralaya waters only. The mind is in so much of turbulence and it just goes off. So the rope is the sound of the nama, which is there. And you are actually, the more and more using that nama, that shabda as the rope, we are tying to that inner being deep within. You don't know what it is, but that is there, that pure existence. Tie it back, tie it back, tie it back. When that mind gets tied back, that is why Ramana Bhagavan in Aksharamana Mala, there is a beautiful prayer. He says, Ma ka tralaikalam, Ma ka tralaikalam, Agamal katarul enai arunachala. Which means, Ma katra means this huge, wind. Let this small little boat not get lost in this huge wind of mind. nothing else. In this huge wind of mind, let this boat not get lost. Please hold on. Give me your anchor and hold to me. So even in our, as we are functioning, we can see, say something comes up. Say I'm getting angry. That anger comes up. Let the boat not go with the anger and the thoughts related to it and all that. Let it hold on to that which is experiencing the anger. This. So hold on to that I which is experiencing that anger. So hold on to that, hold on to that, hold on to that. That is like the horn of the fish. Then it will not just go somewhere. The mind is, in that way, so many things, but it is very beautiful. So, and we know there is a real anchor within. And we hold on to that beautifully, just like this. If a deluge ocean can be crossed, then these simple mental, waves can be very easily crossed by holding on to the anchor called the inner being of the inner being. So his prayer is, let me not become like that boat which is tossed by this, huge storm in the sea. Hold me. By surrendering, that's the prayer that he is. So this can be our prayer before we sit for meditation, and then we will see that horn coming up. Now, 7:30.
In a way, if you also look at this as death, right? Mahapralaya as our death. So it carries our vasana and but also the divine, whatever is there. So at that time, if we can anchor ourselves in God, which is the art of death, coming from art of parenting. To keep saying, like we had read in the other story, Ajamila, who says Narayana. We have to keep remembering every moment that everything is only Narayana's, nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to him. So we have to close the class, but there's somebody in a session. This is totally, after all this bhakti, it will come down totally to material world, but just to tell one simple thing. Somebody said, when I got my child, I get my child something all the time. And whatever she asks, I don't feel like saying no. I want to get it to her. Because I come from a sense of deprivation. When I was young, we couldn't afford it. So I used to feel a little like we don't have. So I don't want my daughter to feel the same thing. So I get her whatever she wants. And the thought is, now, okay, I understand my parents didn't have it, but now I have, right? So I can come. So very thought that I have it is somewhere a small ahankara, that it belongs to me and it is for me to give, in a way. Which is what we all do, right? In our world, we all come back from our own vasanas, we all come back and we say, so in a way we are acting through our vasanas, but I have nothing, I do nothing, I know nothing. Everything that I am only because of you, is something we keep repeating to ourselves. This just popped up in the head. So even when we go to sleep, to remember this, I have nothing, I do nothing, I know nothing. Whatever I am because of you, and make that surrender. Whatever has happened through the day. We are talking about pralaya right now. So we have multiple levels of pralaya, right? One feeling comes up, it goes down. One thought comes up, it goes down. It's a creation of a thought, that is a dissolution of the thought. And then it may come up again. It's a cyclic thing. And I go to sleep every day, I wake up every day. And then, of course, when we leave this body, that is another Srishti and Laya that happens. So at all these, so let us every day practice. It is like preparing for the Mahapralaya, which will happen. How will I remember then? By remembering God every day today. Now, in this Nitya Pralaya, if I keep remembering the Lord and keeping my mind on Him and know that nothing belongs to me, nothing is mine, I have nothing, I know nothing, everything is yours, and I dissolve into Him.
Very beautiful. Just remembering is all that we need to just call out Him. That is enough. Beautifully, Amritanandamai, someone asks, what Nama do I call Him? How do I call Him? I don't even know who He is. What is it, she or he or it or what? How to call? What is it? So she says beautifully an example of, see, we all are Amsha of Bhagavan only, right? So we are actually calling the source. So, and we belong to Him. He is the possessor. I am the possession. We can, these are the bhavas she was saying. So she says, someone, drops the key when they are walking and they walked ahead. Okay, they have dropped their possession and you want to give it back to them. You don't know their name. You're taking that key and you're going like, hey, 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 you call. They recognize. Like that you call by any name. Yeah. He is possessing you. He will recognize. That's all. So we don't have to think, how do I remember him? What is it that minds upside? Nothing is needed. Any name that you feel so dear with so much of Shraddha, you call out. We belong to him. He will come. Yes.
Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya, sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bad bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Thank you.
Thank you, Balaji, and thank you, Aarti ji.
Thank you very much.